In a world of wild design and chaotic perils, one character always stood out. A bounty hunter with yo-yo, teddy bear, and magical smile, Bridget. That's younger Bridget at the beginning of the adventure. And that's Bridget now. Oops, not this one. Yeah. That's Bridget now. That's a story worth breaking down from every angle. And I've gathered everything from the official games, anime, manga, and official artworks for analyzing Bridget. Let's do it. Welcome to the show. My name is Bridget. I was born in a small village where people there believed something strange, that twin boys would bring misfortune. To protect me, my parents raised me as a daughter. They always smiled for me, but I could feel it wasn't real. Deep down, they weren't happy. I know they were only pretending. Even so, I never blamed them. I only wanted to see them smile for real. So I decided to prove myself in my own way. It's not easy to really know your own shape or who you really are. When I was little, everyone in my village used to tell me how cute I was. But that wasn't really me. The real me was a lot more rough around the edges. There was a time when I tried to be strong and cool, but that didn't feel right either. I tried different things to figure myself out, and that's how I became who I am now. But your shape, your true self, it's something you have to find. That's how it was for me. That was Bridget, speaking his own words exactly as written in Guilty Gear Strive. Still hoping. In the Guilty Gear Strive anime story mode, when the big screen declares a better future, Bridget perks up at those words with sparkling eyes. That moment proves it. Bridget is still hoping and moving forward. Outside the game, the creator labeled him differently, but Bridget is still on his journey. Anyway, let's continue. My appearance stands out a little, doesn't it? The nun-like outfit, the blue hood, the headpiece, naturally my yo-yo. It may look like a toy, but it's also my weapon. And my teddy bear Roger, my partner who fights alongside me. The yo-yo and Roger were given to me as gifts, and they've been with me ever since. They always bring me comfort in fights. Speaking of fights, I've got some special moves like Loop the Loop, Stop and Dash, Starship, Return of the Killing Machine, and my latest trick, Like the Baby. Some of those names sound a little wild, but that's just my style. Flashy, tricky, and graceful, almost like dancing. I checked Bridget's teddy bear origins from different materials. In Guilty Gear XX, it says that Bridget bought it with his very first allowance, clear and specific, showing independence. But in other times, including in Strife, it's written as a gift from his parents. Which one is it? This isn't a small slip. It changed the meaning. The games say one thing, but even the developers say things that don't line up with the story we see. I've picked up some few things along my travels. For example, I learned how to cook during my time with my friend Jam. She was generous, paying me $1,030 per hour, but I don't like it when mushrooms or cucumbers get added in. I also enjoy taking naps when I can, and I keep practicing with my yo-yo. As for dislikes, I really don't like people whose muscles are bigger than their brains, and sometimes I just sleep wherever the wind takes me. I once slept on the beach and in an abandoned place, though I have to admit I'm not a big fan of ghosts or insects. Now here's where people misunderstand. Because in Bridget's one profile, it just says Bridget dislikes muscles. Some fans twist that into meaning he prefers to be weak. That's definitely not Bridget. He's fast, flexible, he can balance on one hand and spin in mid-air like Sonic the Hedgehog, and his kicks are like dynamite. He's not weak at all. The real meaning that Bridget doesn't like people who only rely on raw bulk, not on their brains. Bridget is always upgrading, always pushing himself. It's his way of telling others, don't underestimate me. And if he really dislikes muscles as a whole, he chose the wrong game to live in. As for his dislike for meaty bodies, it doesn't mean food, it means he doesn't want to be bulky like Gold Lewis. Bridget's fighting style is lighter and more agile. Bridget really does live that wandering life. In the anime, he was cooking vegetable soup for Unica and then sleeping right on the beach. And in the games, he's shown sleeping in abandoned places between travels. It's part of who he is, a drifter, carried by the winds, never tied down to one home. My yo-yo isn't just for tricks, it's my trap card. From a distance, I can control the fight, set the pace, and keep pressure on. Roger and I can cover angles most fighters can't. And don't get me wrong, I can hit hard when someone gets too close. But that's not where I shine the most. My real strength is keeping control from afar, making every move count before they even reach me. Bridget is at his best controlling space from a distance. His physical attacks are powerful, but his real style is keeping opponents at bay with yo-yos and sit-ups. When he gets stunned though, he takes a little more time to recover, and that's when the tables turn. In the anime, when Bridget was cornered and overwhelmed, he couldn't bounce back in time. On my journey, I thought if I could capture Dizzy, I could finally go home. That was my goal. But when I found her, May stepped in to protect her. We fought, but then Dizzy explained she wasn't the villain people said she was, and she wasn't even wanted anymore. We became friends right away. I told her, why don't you come over to my house sometime? But wait a minute. If you look closely, Bridget doesn't actually have a house. He's a traveler, always on the road, moving from a place to place. But that invitation wasn't about a real home. It's Bridget's way of being a good host, treating fellas and even a supposed villain with kindness and respect, and showing hospitality after a fight. May became my best friend and believed in me. She's an amazing girl, and I joined her with the Jellyfish Pirates for a while. Then there is that noble swordsman Kai and his family. I respect them a lot. Then I met Gold Lewis. He saw me as a fighter. That meant everything. Their trust gave me strength to keep going, so don't underestimate me. In Guilty Gear, Kai once told Bridget to leave out of protectiveness. Bridget just smiled it off with a stubborn see ya. He knew what he's doing, and nothing could stop him. And it also shows that he's also firm about his own path. That's Bridget, cheerful, respectful, and friendly. But his politeness often turns into comedy, whether it's his comical realization in Guilty Gear when he politely points out to lizards that they are not in costumes, or asking the monsters if they have seen any bounty hunters around. It's the same energy of that party in the anime with Unica, the whole place exploding while everyone else was running for their lives. Yet Bridget just stood there, hoping it was part of the show. Even to a beast, he goes, "Excuse me please, don't get in my way," or after knocking them out. "But you started it, scaring me like that and all." When he wanted to capture a bounty, he simply said, "Please come with me." Bridget treats the strangest encounters with the same manners he'd use at a dinner table, turning danger into something almost absurd. That's Bridget in a nutshell, unintentionally hilarious yet completely genuine. I disappeared from the fighting tournaments for a while, but I wasn't idle. Believe me, I became a K-pop singer. I sang my own song, The Town Inside Me. I'm really proud of it. It's calm and gentle, so different from the usual Guilty Gear songs that are chaotic and loud. The lyrics, they carry my journey, my feelings, and my thoughts. Stay tuned for my songs. The lyrics point straight to his journey, and those words stood out. Gray, haze, me without me. Fragments that emphasize ambiguity, not clarity. And then the most Bridgetic line, tastes like vegetables I don't like. It's not just poetry, we can tie it back to his character profile, where he openly dislikes cucumbers, mushrooms, and bitter herbs. In music, Bridget turns his challenges into something charming and personal. Bridget is still on his journey in Guilty Gear Strive, but here's what changed. The creator chose to label him a girl, and that split the fans into two sides. Some accepted it, some rejected it. This is not politics. The problem is reduction. Bridget began as a boy with one of the most creative and detailed backstories in fighting games, and now with a single label, all that depth is collapsed into a tag. Behind the scenes, the creator labeled him a girl, but the developers admitted they chose him as the first Season 2 DLC because sales in Japan were sluggish and his return brought players back. In one question and answer, when answering a fan question, the creator labeled Bridget a girl. The word trans was never mentioned in Japanese. It was Western coverage that extended it that way. Inside Guilty Gear, nothing treats that as canon. The announcement was sudden and almost too polished, as if it was carefully planned for attention. Bridget was one of the most requested characters to return, so it felt less like organic growth and more like a decision influenced by market trends and audience expectations. In the end, it comes across like a sticker slapped on Bridget, not something built into his journey. It was sudden and unreal, with no foreshadowing or build-up. In Guilty Gear Strive, when Gold Lewis mistook Bridget for a girl, and Bridget got flustered and corrected him, "I'm a boy." Later on, Gold Lewis playfully said, "Cowboy, or should I say cowgirl?" And Bridget replied, "Cowgirl is fine, because I'm a girl." That's where the confusion started. The tone was soft, playful, especially in Japanese. It's even more playful, not framed as a life-changing revelation. But in that same game, when teaming with Gold Lewis, Bridget also said, "Thank you, I need to toughen up, since I'm a boy and all." So the mixed signals are clear. And that's the problem. If Bridget had stayed flustered and vague, it would have just become a dull running joke. Like, come on Bridget, stick to anything already, even if it's shallow. In older games, Bridget was sometimes mistaken for a girl, like in Guilty Gear Judgment, where Raymond called him Miss, then immediately called him Sad Boy. It's acknowledgement. That's not a gender confusion. It's narrative irony. It happened more than once. Bridget explained it a few times, but when another character mistook him again, he just ignored it and focused on the main topic, because repeating himself over and over would only drag things down. The creator said the word and then did nothing else because he knew that one word would cause a stir. It felt like something thrown in the last minute. Blink and you miss it. And even though he had said it before the whole Guilty Gear Strive, Bridget is still Bridget. The same cheerful, innocent, but not naive personality, the same voice actor, the same appearance. The arrow on Bridget's head tilted slightly in Guilty Gear Strive, and that doesn't actually mean anything. The real evidence is that symbol has been on his head from the beginning, and in Strive, it's even bigger. If Bridget had truly been rewritten as a girl, why keep that symbol at all, let alone make it more prominent instead of replacing it with something clearer? That speaks louder than speculation. Even though his design is adaptable, unlike characters like Haji from Blood Plus, who sticks to one style, Bridget's look is versatile and has always shifted and adapted. And there was a time in Guilty Gear Accent Core where his mark resembled an infinity sign, a neat reflection of a journey that never truly ends. I even went as far as analyzing his zodiac, 26 October, a Scorpio, known for playfulness, cheerfulness, and most importantly for being misunderstood. That fits Bridget perfectly. That's not coincidence, it's destiny and alignment. Notice the hand cliff around Bridget's waist. It's his yo-yo holder. It also works as a symbol, a spiral circling forward, a reminder that even in the middle of every battle, Bridget is still moving through his own journey, carrying something deeper with him. In Guilty Gear XX Reload, one of Bridget's hobbies is literally written as working to be more manly. And in Guilty Gear XX, he asks, "Could you teach me to be more unfeminine?" Those aren't throwaway lines. They directly show how Bridget saw himself and how the games consistently portrayed him. The official bio in Guilty Gear Strive says it clearly. Bridget disproved the superstition, brought back wealth, yet was left without a goal and is now still searching for a purpose. Those are Guilty Gear's own words. His journey is not settled, it's ongoing. Arxis has always used androgyny as a deliberate design choice to create mystery and appeal. Testament is gothic and ambiguous, and Zato and Venom are openly shown to be in love. So Arxis isn't shy about non-traditional dynamics, which makes it stranger that Bridget's case was handled vaguely. The creator himself even explained that Bridget's androgyny is exactly what makes him appealing. The same thing happened with Lucy from Cyberpunk. In her original design, she was portrayed as a normal girl, but when her same design and personality were carried into Guilty Gear Strive, nothing about her changed. Yet Arxis chose to label her trans, even while saying they were careful about her background story. She is also an example of being tagged after the fact. In the official Guilty Gear 10th memorial book, the developers themselves said, Bridget is described as a character whose charm comes from his androgynous beauty and natural personality. It highlights how this mix of appearance and genuine cheerfulness draws people in. Even when he's mistaken for female at first, over time, players discover that his appeal only deepens once understand his backstory. In Blue Archive, the same halo shape appears above both Happy Chaos and Shiroko, and in Arc Knight, many characters lean on ambiguity and mystery. The same design Arxis applies. This isn't random, it's style. If I wanted to push the point further, I would compare it with Poison from Street Fighter. In Japan, she was always written as a girl, but in American version, she was labeled differently for reasons outside the actual story. It's a similar case. Labels added while the intended design and intent told a different story. It reminds me of Mulan, a story about fighting for honor while living under expectations, not the modern takes, but the kind of courage that comes from restraint. If it were told today, people might miss its message behind all the noise. Bridget also appeared outside Guilty Gear in a crossover with Counter-Side game. That's clue because crossover games don't choose characters at random. They highlight the ones fans want the most. Bridget was brought in exactly as he is, with his Guilty Gear Strive design and personality intact. And it worked just fine without any rewriting. He's already strong enough to stand as Bridget. In the manga, Ino teases Bridget, calling him a man. In the context, she's just mocking him for still carrying a teddy bear. But in serious situations, they take Bridget seriously. Venom, for example, gives Bridget a mix of respect and critique. It shows that strong opponents study and prepare specifically for his game plan. In Guilty Gear's anniversary updates, and after quite some time from Strive, they released new Bridget cards, still faithful, still unchanged. Even in the Halloween event, Bridget had a small pumpkin mark on his head for decoration. No new samples, no changes. It shows they still remember his original mark. Just like in Guilty Gear Strive time, they used a single word, but nothing else changed. And then when Guilty Gear Strive was later ported for Nintendo Switch, Bridget was still exactly the same. The design, the personality, the gameplay all intact. These were two separate releases at different times, and both kept Bridget consistent. That stability shows that his essence won't change in the past, the present, or the future. I wanted to convince myself truly from a neutral standpoint, to look at it with pure objectivity, but after reviewing everything, I came back empty-handed. The clues are already clear. If you have more convincing evidences that Bridget is not a boy, the arena is yours.
Heaven or hell!
Either way, I only hope Guilty Gear continues like this, with Bridget always looking toward the horizon. I will find my way, no matter what they say. I am who I am. I am Bridget, the bounty hunter.